Welcome to One Stop Channel. My name is Vivek, and I'm here to do an open box and also talk about why am I doing an open box and why I even purchased an Apple TV 4K 32 gig in 2021 when the Apple TV actually was released in 2017. I'm also going to go over Spectrum and do a quick review of Spectrum and Apple TV together. So stay tuned. Alright, so here's the box I just received today from Spectrum TV. Spectrum, if you're not aware, is a internet and television provider here in New York, and they're in different regions as well, obviously. But since I am from New York, I'm actually in Queens, New York, so Spectrum is a provider here. So I got the box today, so let's open this up and let's see exactly what's in here. Oh wow, HDMI cable. To be honest, I was not expecting an HDMI cable. I don't think this is a 2.1 HDMI. I think this might be 2.0 HDMI cable. Yeah, I don't see anything here that says is a 2.1. But it's a 6-foot HDMI cable. Again, was not expecting this. Normally when you buy an Apple TV or any electronic or any device, HDMI cable doesn't really come with it. So surprising about this, and I got to give Spectrum, a shout out on that. It's great. Thank you. Again, really surprised. And here is the Apple TV. So this is Apple TV 4K with 32 gigs. I want to make sure you guys can see that. Yep. And now, while I do an opening and show you what's inside, let me explain why did I get this in 2021. Well, originally I had satellite, and with satellite I was paying roughly about $230 a month, which included international channels, also included the premium channels, which is like HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, as well as I think it was called America's Top 150 was the package with the satellite provider that was giving to us. And again, it was $230 plus the internet was about $50. And at that time, it wasn't Spectrum, it actually was Time Warner. So I think it was about 70 or 80 gigs of speed with $50 a month. So combine those two together, 230 and 50 is about 280. On top of that, I actually had Netflix, which was a streaming, and also the physical DVD, which is kind of crazy. Seems like ages ago that they used to do DVDs and used to send Blu-rays out. But at that time, we did have the Netflix Blu-ray package. So that was about $20 a month, I believe. So a total of $300 a month I was paying just for television, just to get local channels, get international channels, and internet and Netflix. Well, 2019, I would say, is when we decided to cut the cord. And once we decided to cut the cord, we got obviously rid of the satellite provider and started doing a lot of apps, Disney Plus, Hulu, YouTube, and whatnot. And international channels, what we use for international channels is actually Sling. Sling is the provider that we use, or the app that we use for international channels. And I have to say, the Sling international channels are actually more than the satellite channels, meaning that on satellite, I believe you were getting about close to 30 or 35 channels, but on Sling, you're getting close to 50 international channels, which was really surprising and a pleasant surprise. And I'm paying roughly about $50 a month for that. But no local channels. If you wanted local channels, you had to get an antenna from Sling, and over the air is what it was. I think that was, for the equipment itself, was additional $100, I would say. And they'll give you the little satellite, not satellite, sorry, like a flat antenna that you would put by the window, and it'll catch all the free channels, which is the local channels. But it wasn't working great when it was bad weather or the signal wasn't good. We couldn't get the local channels. So I came across Hulu. And on Hulu, I got the TV package, which I was paying with taxes about $64, $65 a month, which included local channels, but about 50 channels total. with the local channels, which is fine, worked great. You know, picture quality was phenomenal. Obviously, it was great, no issues. But then I came across an ad for Spectrum where it said you could get internet and you could get television for $44. But it's $44 each. So it's $88 really if you get internet and you get the Spectrum app. So I did a little bit more digging, and I found there was an Spectrum offered just app service, meaning that you won't get a box, you won't get anything for $20 a month. And with the $20 a month, you get, I believe it was about 100 channels. It was just the app, no devices needed at all, which was good, but no local channels. And I asked if I could just add local channels on top. They said you cannot. So the representative went through with me different plans that they have, and they gave me a pretty good solution actually. I told them that I don't want a Spectrum box. You know, I don't want that. So then they provided me with an option of Apple TV, that they'll give us an Apple TV 4K 32 gig instead of the actual box. And the box was roughly about $8 a month. And the Apple TV here is also $8 a month for 23 months. After 23 months, this Apple TV is mine. And if I want, I actually could pay for this right now, and it'd be my Apple TV. It will not be Spectrum's. And the $7 that Spectrum's charging per month, they will remove that once I pay full price for this. So since that made sense to me a lot, I'm like, okay, that's great. And you could download the Spectrum app on this, which I am going to do. And another interesting thing was that I have an LG, the C series, and on the LG you cannot get HBO Max, which I have a subscription for. I got it when they had a promotion going on, so I got a decent price when it first was released, and I did a whole year for the subscription. But on LG you can't download it. I mean, LG, you have all the other apps are phenomenal, which is obviously Netflix, Amazon, Star, Peacock is on there as well, Hulu's on there, right on LG, and you could just click on the app and start, but no HBO Max. And interesting enough, there's also no Spectrum app. So I really don't, I thought for a second, I really don't even need an Apple TV because I have an Apple TV on my LG, so I could just download Spectrum. But then again, doing a little research, found out that Spectrum does not have an app for LG. So this is actually becoming really handy, because now I could download not only the Spectrum app on this and get 200 channels, plus I could now download HBO Max, which I believe in 2020 of November, when Wonder Woman came out, HBO Max started upgrading a lot of their movies to 4K. So now I'll be able to get HBO Max on 4K, where before I was getting 1080p on my phone. And even I tried to play a 4K movie on here, it will work, but once I would try to mirror it to my LG, for some reason it would not. So this made a lot of sense for me. And again, here's the Apple TV right here. Comes with the remote control, obviously. This remote control right here. And also, let's see what else is in here. So we have the power cord for the Apple TV, and also some ready material about Apple TV to get started. I guess a small little, how to plug in, which I'm sure everyone who's watching this knows how to plug in Apple TV by now. And they also gave a charger for the remote control. So at the bottom here is where you would charge the Apple TV remote. And this wire is for that. And this actually could also be used to charge your iPhones if you have an iPhone, which I do not. I actually have a Samsung. But let me connect all this together, and I'll get back to you as soon as I have everything connected. And I will turn on the LG, and I will also show you which apps I actually have on the LG and how it will look once I have an Apple TV hooked up. But actually, this is also closed up here. Let's open this up. So on the new Apple TV 4K, I don't know why I'm saying new, it was actually released in 2017, but on this version of Apple TV, in the back, you have the Ethernet cable, you have the HDMI cable, and you also have the power cord here as well. And since I have the LG, the 2.1 HDMI cable will work, but I don't know if it actually be worth it for an Apple TV. I do have a 2.1 HDMI cable coming in tomorrow. I'm going to connect this with, again, surprisingly, I don't know what I did with, where I put it, but it did come with, I'm sorry, right in front of my face. It did come with the HDMI cable, so I will use this to connect the LG, and then tomorrow, once I get the 2.1 cable, I will connect that and see if there's any difference. If there is any difference, I will definitely come back and do a quick video to show the difference. But from my research and from my understanding, there's really not that much of a difference, at least to the naked eye, on the difference. So again, let me connect everything together, and as soon as it's connected, I'll come back. So guys, I've actually hooked up the Apple TV to the LG, so I'm going to go through the setup process on the LG. But before I do that, as I mentioned a bit earlier, here are the apps that I actually have installed already on the LG. As you see, it's pretty extensive amount of apps that I have, but unfortunately HBO Max and Spectrum, those two apps cannot be downloaded on LG because of AT&T having a contract with Samsung. So if you want HBO Max or the Spectrum TV on your TV as an app, then you need a Samsung TV, not an LG. So that's the first thing. So now let's dive right into the actual setup here. So we will hit English, and I am in the United States. Sure, why not? And we will set up using Siri, share audio records, help. Not now on that one. And if you have an Apple iPad or Apple iPhone, you could log in. You could log in from the Apple iPad and iPhone and try to connect it from there. So actually, I do have an Apple iPad here. So let me grab that for a second, and we'll go in and let's see what we have to do. Use your iPhone, iPad, or iPod Touch, automatically add your Apple TV to this TV. This Apple TV will be associated with Apple ID and have access. So let's set up with device, unlock your iPhone Touch, connect to the Wi-Fi, turn on Bluetooth, which it is, and hold close to the Apple TV. So here is, I don't know if you guys can see this. I put my iPad next to that Apple TV, and I see a pop-up that just came up on my iPad, which I had set up. And move this over a little bit here. So this has popped up on my iPad as I put it next to the Apple TV, and that is the authorization code. And let's put that in. All right, so it has connected, and now it's asking you if I actually want to require a password to purchase any kind of movies, which I actually do. I purchased quite a few movies from Apple, which I'll probably show you guys in a little bit. But I'm going to put in never require. And wow, look at that. It actually brought me straight to the Spectrum app here. And we will hit continue. And home one screen on every Apple TV. Keeps the apps and the home screens up to date. Let's turn it on. This is going to be in the living room. Enable locations. Download the screensaver. That looks pretty nice, so I think I'll just download that as well. And I'm not going to send that as of yet. Of course, you have to hit agree to all terms and condition. Let's get you the best picture, and yes, let's try Dolby Vision. Wow, it has switched the settings to 4K Dolby Vision at 60 Hertz, which is pretty cool. And hit OK. And I think that is about it, guys. Let me just pull this Apple iPad aside. And yes, these are all my apps. As you can see, they're downloading as we speak. These are the apps that actually have my iPad Pro. The DC Universe, I don't think I need that anymore with HBO Max. Now let's jump into Spectrum and see this app load up.
But urged by cautious Saudi Arabia, delegates decided to maintain a status quo. Crude has already rallied more than 25% this year.
All right, so okay, so I guess Spectrum is already up and running on this app here, which is pretty cool. Switch to guide. So you see these are all the channels that you get with Spectrum, at least that I get with 200 channels. So let's just jump out of this real quick. And let's go into settings, and we will go to video and audio, and as you can see, 4K Dolby Vision 60 gigahertz, it's already been enabled automatically. As you saw when I started the Apple TV, it recognized the LG and changed the settings. Again, I'm getting a 2.1 cable tomorrow, and I want to see if the 2.1 HDMI cable will make a difference and change the 60 hertz to 120 hertz. So that I will give you guys an update on once I get that going. And match content. I saw a lot of other reviews on this, and some of them have the match dynamic range on and match frame rate on. I'm going to actually keep it off because I don't want to force to upgrade or scan to a 4K. If it wasn't meant to be, then you could have colors that are not accurate and kind of wash out colors. So I'm just going to keep this off for now and see if how it looks. But let's go back to the main screen, and here's HBO Max. Like I said, LG, I was not able to download HBO Max, and here it's up and ready, and can't verify your subscription, so I have to log in. Actually, yes, I do not have HBO Max through iTunes. I got it straight from straight from HBO Max. But yeah, here are all the movies, as you can see, and it's gonna be an exciting month in March. As we all know, we got some amazing movies that's gonna be coming out in March. It's gonna be released also in the theaters at the same time. So very excited about that. Mortal Kombat is one of them. I think Mortal Kombat actually gonna be in April. But you have King Kong vs. Godzilla, which will be in March. So looking forward to these movies on HBO Max and obviously watching it in 4K. As you can see, some of the movies here are in 4K UHD and Dolby Vision with Dolby Atmos. So very excited about this. And now I spoke about the pricing of the satellite a little bit earlier. So how much am I paying now with Spectrum at this moment? Well, with the 200 channels that I have here is going to be $109 with internet. Prior to this, I was paying $65 for the internet with Spectrum. I didn't have any TV service with Spectrum prior. I just had the internet service. So now I'm going to be getting $65 a month for the internet, which was 200 megabytes. Now has been upgraded to 400 megabytes. And I have now the Apple TV and 200 channels. So total with taxes and sales here in New York and Queens area, I'm going to be paying exactly $107 a month. Now again, prior to this, I was paying $65 for the internet with Spectrum, and I was paying $65 for Hulu Plus with the live TV. And with the live TV, it was about 40 or 50 channels that I was getting. Now I'm getting 200 channels at a cheaper rate. So I'm saving approximately about $20, $25 a month just by switching to Spectrum and getting this here as well. If you guys have any questions or if there's anything I missed, please leave in the comment section. And if you like this video, please hit subscribe and like button. And I really appreciate it. And I'll be coming back with more videos.